Good evening, Nick Inman from VolumeProfileTrader.com on Tuesday, May 29th, and we got the follow through in the market that we were looking for. A pretty nice update in the market relative to what the market's been doing, and we gapped open higher and then traded lower intraday, only to find a floor pretty much at what has been some type of resistance in the market. So I think you can continue look to the upside of the market. Yet the higher it goes, we were just at the 1310 level ish, and now we're pushing up towards 1340. You have to be careful and realize the buying opportunity was really a couple of days ago, and now is in my opinion the kind of holding period. Until you get into a level where you're looking for sellers, and we're not too far from those levels now. However, with that said, I still like to say that the S&P still looks good to the long side. I'm going to drag over this 2-hour chart. You can see where I believe the point of control was at 1310. Now it's at 1325. We're pushing above that. As long as we stay above basically today's lows, we should be okay for a push up towards 1350 to 1360, and kind of see where the market goes from there. One thing that you should be aware of looking at this chart is this is a classic pullback pattern. In a longer term time frame, we've seen a nice uptrend, a pullback, and now we have good volume down at this bottom half of the range. We're trying to build a base is the way I look at it. And we could go, potentially as high as 1363 or so. That was basically the top end of the range at the beginning of May. And it's also the point of control for the last 180 days, I believe. Yes, 180 days. So that's something to keep in mind. And also you can see this huge gap down that we had, the test of that level, 1370, that's an important level too to be aware of. So I think the S&P should continue its drift higher. So far so good on this trade to the long side. And what's good is we've basically been all over every major market swing, which is always helpful. Dow continues to work. Dow, NASDAQ, I don't think it really matters. They're all trying to push higher. Let's focus on, I just want to look at natural gas because I didn't see it today. Another pullback today, which is fine. Big selling towards the end of the day. But let's go into the names that I talked about yesterday. Ford, follow through move to the upside. Point of control for the year down towards 1040 or so. So any pullback is probably something that you want to get involved in with the thesis that these are major lows here. And you will go and see $12.50 again in the near future, or at some point in the future. American Electric worked again today. I think this is something that you can just be involved in, hopefully on weakness rather than in strength, but sometimes you don't get a choice. Bristol Myers worked. I know everything that I mentioned last night worked today. ConocoPhillips pressing up against the 233 moving average, point of control for the year, but a 5% dividend pair. I don't think you take that off of your radar. Costco, big update today. Bouncing off the 233, off of 84, which is the point of control for the year. I don't see why this doesn't go visit 100 in the coming months, and that's just my opinion. Hewlett-Packard gave us follow-through today. Solid volume relative to what we've seen in the past other than these last 2 days. I still think you hold your support around this 21.25 level. This is a complete, I think they call it an island reversal in candle land. But this could be a monster. I mean, this could be a bottom for Hewlett-Packard, and that's something to be aware of. Intel worked today. Nice bounce off the 233 overall. 27 or so is going to give you some resistance, I assume. Also, this was the last, bit of support. I'm sorry, of congestion before we saw more downside. So if we get above these levels, we should go see 27 or so. So another 4% higher is possibly in the work for something like Intel. Maybe a covered call strategy. I own some shares which are in the green. I'm looking at the 27 calls, but I just haven't pulled the trigger yet to sell against my longs. Maybe in the coming days, especially if we move a bit higher. Monsanto followed through to the upside. I still think this is something that you can look at on weakness. Anywhere towards 70, I think you need to gobble this up. Pepsi, new highs today. That's what you want to see. You want to see this continue to push higher. This has been a very nice base, and now we're seeing a follow through to the upside. Kind of looks like what Coke did before breaking out here. So just be aware of that, and hopefully Pepsi does similar things. Hopefully you're long, because I recommended it a while ago. Pfizer gave us a little bit of a bounce today, but not really. As long as it holds 22 or so, we should be okay. If not, it may be worth scaling out, so I'm looking to buy more towards 20.5 or so. Qualcomm gave us a bounce today. I think these are levels that you can start to get involved in on Qualcomm. Basically, when you look at it, any of the dividend payers, and I'm just bringing up two random names, AT&T, Verizon, the dividend payers continue to work. So find dividend payers with an upside bias and kind of go for it. Try to buy them on weakness, buy them at support, and see where they take you. I'm just kind of going through some names, just seeing what the rest of the market did. Energy, giving you a bounce. We looked at ConocoPhillips. XLF, 233 moving average. We're trying to bounce here. Look at JP Morgan, didn't give you much, but we're at the point of control for the year. Not that I would get involved in this name. There's a big group of I want my money back. Bank of America gave you a pretty good bounce today, but at the end of the day, I'm still thinking that this is something that you want to stay away from. And I wouldn't say short it, because I just don't want to short it at these levels. But it's hard for me personally to get some type of confidence behind the banks. Wells Fargo, USB. USB is probably in the best shape technically, but really I don't have too much of an opinion. Apple, we're trying to turn around here. We're trying to build a higher base. If we push higher on Apple, we should go see 590, maybe 600 in the coming days or weeks. That's probably worth watching. Google, let's see. Holding the 233, which it's bounced two times before, but it's kind of dropped off of support for me. So we'd have to turn around quick on Google in order for me to get some type of conviction to be a buyer of Google. The VIX not down a whole lot today, only 3%, a little more than that. If it keeps trickling down, you should see the market start to turn around. The euro, new lows today, but, what's funny was the market, the S&P this morning was moving higher, and the euro was just trading sideways, and then once the euro broke, the market broke. It just shows you that the fundamentals of the euro continue to point to lower price, or a lower euro. And despite the dollar, whatever you may say about the dollar not being a great, a great currency, and I agree with that, it's going to do what it's going to do. And, that's just something that you're going to have to live with. A higher dollar, it's good for stuff like oil. Oil should continue to have a downward bias as long as the dollar continues to go higher. That's something that you want to see. Gas prices coming down. I know gas prices have come down 40 cents or so where I live, maybe even a little more than that, 50 cents. That's good news. That means names like Starbucks, really any retail should continue to do well. I think I showed these two yesterday: Target, Walmart, Starbucks, stuff like that should continue to do good. Look at the restaurants, stuff like that. Look at that channel. I don't know why it's like that, but it is. Huge bounces today and stuff like this. I'm sure Yum got a nice bounce. So just things to keep on your radar. And really, other than that, I don't have much to say. Other than trading room sending out an email tonight. So if you view this before you view the email for the trading room, that's fine too. But I'm going to set it up. I think what I'm going to do, actually I know what I'm going to do, is do like a curriculum for those who want to join. And if you're already a member, if you're already a premium member for the site, then you're going to get access, no problem. But if you're not, or you're a lower tier member, then you are there's going to be a premium to pay. But I think it's going to be worth it. I wouldn't be setting this up if I didn't think it was worth it for traders. So hopefully you'll check it out. And if not, that's fine too. As long as you're profitable in trading, then you're okay. But it should help those for those looking for a direction, looking for a sense of how to be profitable in the market. So take care. Have a good night. Talk to you tomorrow.